Hello and welcome to TB3 Sports Talk. And from us to you, we want to be the first people to wish you guys a happy new year. We hope your guys' new year in 2025 is the best and the most blessed one yet. And we had Christmas last week, and we got it's holiday season. We got New Year's this week, and we got really, really good presents this past Sunday because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, due to some outside circumstances, due to a fateful rally duck, a fateful Jaden Daniels, they are one win away from winning the NFC South for the fourth consecutive year. How are we feeling, Joel?
I mean, the duck puns are everywhere. I don't need to say any of them. You've heard them all, but it's a good time to be a Bucs fan. We got lucky in 2 different games in one day, so God bless.
I feel like that was the first time I can remember, getting help from another team.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I did not – in my head, I'm like, the Commanders are going to beat the Falcons. They're better than. But then also in my head, I'm like, the Bucs don't get help from other teams, man. I remember, 2016, where they could have almost made the playoffs, and there was like a tie in there that messed them up. I was young, but I do remember some stuff happening that I was like, come on, man. And then even like 2019, some crazy stuff happened.
2010, we didn't get lucky.
Yeah.
I think a 9-7 team went. We were 10-6, so.
Man,
this is years worth of luck we've been owed.
Yeah, so I think we should obviously start with what the Bucs did control, and that was their game on Sunday. It was at home against the Carolina Panthers. We do remember that this is not the first time the Bucs have played the Panthers. We had a crazy one against the Panthers last time, an overtime win in Carolina. Some crazy stuff happened. Baker Mayfield leads the guys down, game-tying field goal at the end of regulation. The Panthers are driving, looking like they're going to, win with a field goal, and then Anthony Nelson, out of nowhere, strips a ball, maybe saves the Bucs season, and then we go down and we're able to score with a big Rashad White run. So we were all kind of hoping that we were not going to have the same type of game, back in Raymond James Stadium in a week. I think it was 8. Is it week? No, it's week 18 last week because there's 19 because they get. Maybe it's 17. Do teams
they're
only
18 weeks because it's one bye.
There's only get one bye. I get mixed up. College are the teams that have 2 bye weeks.
Like 50 byes.
That is true. But yeah, anyways, the Buccaneers hosted the Panthers. The Panthers, coming in kind of banged up. So have the Bucs, but no Chuba Hubbard, no J.C. Horn, a couple offensive linemen out. So can the Bucs, capitalize? And the Bucs, as they've done so often this year, got the ball. Carolina won the toss, deferred, and that's a poor choice because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers love going down and scoring the opening drive, and they would do that. They would go 6 plays, 70 yards, and it would culminate in a Mike Evans touchdown. He is chasing 1,000, and he did a good job this last week to get himself in position. But unfortunately, the Bucs defense would not respond, and Carolina would go back down and tie the game back up with an Adam Thielen touchdown, 17 yards. It's 7-7, but then the Bucs would go back down, and they would answer with a field goal to make it 10-7, and then the Bucs defense would get a stand. A 3-and-out would lead to another Bucs field goal after that. And then another 3-and-out. Bucs defense kind of finding their rhythm here. And then after that 3-and-out, the Bucs would go 4 plays, 81 yards. This one was culminated with a 42-yard Bucky Irving run. I mean, what else can we say about this guy? Bucky the Buck, Ducky Irving, if you will.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Man, what a guy. And then, again, I thought this was funny, man. You got the whole crowd chanting, Bucky, Bucky, on the 1-yard line, and then you throw it to your legend, Mike Evans, on the goal line. You don't give Bucky that thing. I thought it was funny. It was kind of like, Bucky, you're the rookie.
Baker's looking out for Mike.
Yeah, but Bucky, you're the rookie. But Mike Evans, man, he's chasing history. We're going to give him a touchdown. And then again, the Bucs would force another 3-and-out, and the Bucs again, offensive juggernaut. At this point, they've scored on every possession every possession they've had in the first half, and this one was another touchdown. This time, it would be Jalen McMillan, a 10-yard pass, another touchdown for J-Mac. What a stretch he has been on. The Bucs would go up 27-7, but then the Panthers would respond in a 21-second drive. Yes, you heard that right, 21 seconds. A 40-yard pass to Adam Thielen again just kills the Buccaneers this year. 27-14 is the score, and that would be your score headed into halftime after Eddie Pinheiro missed field goal from the Panthers to end the half. The Panthers would get the ball to start the third quarter. However, the Bucs would get another stop, forcing a punt. And then the Bucs, again, they had a punt to end the first half. So they've scored on every drive except for one, and they would get another touchdown here. This touchdown would be to Payne Durham. His first career touchdown pass, I am pretty sure. Threw it into the stands. Baker Mayfield had to negotiate the ball back, but he got it. Good for Payne Durham. K. Dot's been out. Payne Durham has been solid. Again, just, more Bucky Irving, more Jalen McMillan. The rookies, they had a huge day today. And then the magic happened. The Bucs got another 3-and-out, and the Panthers are, they're punting, and the camera pans, and we see a duck right next to the punt returner. So naturally, just to make sure the duck doesn't get hurt, the Bucs will block a kick. They will block a punt. Yes, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka would get a block punt, and then J.J. Russell. These are starters for your defense, and they are playing special teams, and it is benefiting the Bucs. He would take it all the way. We get a blocked punt touchdown, 41-14 Bucs, and it would just keep rolling. The Bucs would get another touchdown. This one would be to Hold up. This one would be to Jalen McMillan again, his second touchdown, 48-14 Bucs. It was a laugher. The backups came in. Kyle Trask didn't get to throw the ball. It's all right. The Bucs still won this game 48-14 to put the pressure on the Falcons, who would later lose their game against the Commanders on Sunday Night Football.
I know it's already been said, but it must be said again. This duck is going to go. He's amongst the Mount Rushmore of Tampa Bay sports legends already, I would think. I think there might be an argument to be made there. If the Bucs make the playoffs and win a game or two, this duck could be Ray's game 162 stuff.
It really could be. It was just for that to happen, and then the same play the duck comes, you get a block punt.
That's the first block punt in probably 15 years.
In a long time.
I heard Rondé Barber had one, but other than that, I don't know if there's many.
Probably the first special teams touchdown in a long time, man. So that was, I agree, that was awesome. That duck was crazy. The memes were cracking me up all day. Even
there's so many good ones.
There's so many good ones, and even the NFL and the Bucs official accounts, they were leaning into it. The NFL made it their profile picture. I think it's still the Bucs profile picture right now.
Yeah.
Is that duck? So I think it's hilarious. But yeah, I agree that could go down in infamy, especially if the Bucs can keep going on this run.
Here's my joke. I don't know if this one's been said, but the duck probably came because everybody was chanting Bucky.
Yeah.
He's like, Ducky, I'm coming.
Oh, I'm coming.
I'm wanted. I'm sure somebody said that one, but I was just thinking about that one.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of Bucky Irving, I think we should just start with this Buccaneers offense because, man, they were spectacular, and it starts with the guy under center, Baker Mayfield. What more can you say about this? 27 of 32, 359 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, 153.0 passer rating, 90.3 QBR. This guy had as many touchdowns as he did incompletions. No turnovers. One of his best games as a Buck. I think probably the second best game as a Buck ever. Man, he was spectacular. What can you say about Baker Mayfield in this game, Joel?
He's been waking up the world of late. He's not going to win MVP, but the fact that he's in the conversations right now is amazing. And this game, I know it's the Panthers, but to see a quarterback put a game like this together makes you smile.
Yeah, no, for sure. And
only 5 incompletions. What
and
more
5
could
touchdowns.
You want? That's amazing.
It's same amount of incompletions as touchdowns. That is just insane. It really is. And I think it's important to note Baker Mayfield is top 5 in almost every statistical passing category. Yards, I think he's top 2. Touchdowns, I think he's around the top. Interceptions, he's around the top 2, but that's kind of his one downfall. Passer rating,
for the biscuit.
Yeah, passer rating, stuff like that. He has been phenomenal. He really has had an MVP caliber season. He's not going to win it because Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen have had ridiculous seasons.
That's what's not fair. That's what I like about baseball is that there's the National League and American League. If there was an NFC MVP,
he probably would win it. Yeah, I think
all the quarterbacks are in the AFC.
It would be him or Sam Darnold, and I think Baker has better numbers across the board than Sam Darnold. No, I actually do agree. I think NFL could use some more awards sprinkled in there, like offensive rookie of the year. Bucky Irving would be in contention, but he's going against a quarterback. The quarterback thing muddies a lot of NFL awards, in my opinion, especially MVP. But I get it. But yeah, he was phenomenal. This is kind of just a story with the Bucs and Baker Mayfield is. If he doesn't turn over the ball, man, this Bucs offense is going to move the ball. They're going to move it pretty much at will. I think we didn't get to talk about it. We didn't have a show last week, but that Cowboys game, the Bucs' worst enemy in that game was themselves. Drop passes, getting the ball just ripped away from you, busted protection, stuff like that. it really was, the worst enemy was themselves for the Bucs. And when the Bucs are firing, when they're not making mistakes, this offense is, it's fantastic.
Electric.
It really is. And I mean, just looking at, I think I had some of the stats. Okay, can't even work my laptop here. But just, I mean, yeah, Baker Mayfield. And I just wanted to pull up some of these offensive stats because, I mean, you look at the Bucs. They are fourth in the NFL, 29.7 points per game. Let's get it to 30. I said at the beginning of the year the Bucs would average 30 points per game. Just give me that chance. Give me that chance to be right about that take. I said it preseason, and I would be pretty proud of that.
I wonder what they would need to score to get it up to 30.
Probably. Does 35 do it?
I was thinking maybe in the 40s, but I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, 35 might do it. 29.7. That's not that much of a.
I mean, in my head, I'm feeling like there's got to be like some bad games that they would have to like cover for.
Yeah, but if they're already at 29.7,
I'm not good at math.
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe it. Let's put up 30 and see what happens.
If I had more time, I would crunch the numbers. Yeah, 31 might not do it, but 35 might do it.
35 would
five
do it,
five tuds. Let's get that. Fourth in the NFL. They are averaging 399.9. Let's get that up to 400 yards per game. Third in the NFL. They are number one in the NFL in third down conversions. They are converting 50% of their third downs. Every time a third down is present, they are converting half the time. That is spectacular. And that's a testament to Baker Mayfield, who's a great third down quarterback. That's a testament to Liam Cohen being able to run the ball early and getting in third and manageable situations. This offense is electric, man. And as the defense starts to get healthier, I mean, this is a true threat to make a run in the playoffs, in my opinion, Joel.
I mean, just one game at a time. Like I'd give them a fighting chance in any game they would be facing in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, and I do feel like, again, the Lions, they're a juggernaut. But again, if only there was a team that we root for that has already beaten the Lions this year.
Gee, I would certainly hope that team exists.
The Eagles are pretty good, but if there was only a team that's already beaten the Eagles this year.
Man, I wonder if a team like that's out there.
I wonder. But in all seriousness, man, the NFC is open for the taking. These teams, the Eagles, the Lions, they have holes. The Eagles have quarterback problems. We don't even know if Jalen Hurts is going to play in the quarterback or in the playoffs. We don't even know if Jalen Hurts is on the same page as his wide receivers. The Lions, it's crazy to say, they might have a more banged up defense than the Bucs do. Their defense has major problems, and they've been able to overcome it with, electric offensive outputs. But, with Todd Bowles in the playoffs, he can scheme up a good defensive plan. I mean, we look at last year, I think, 24 points for the Lions. Maybe they got 30. But defensively, did a good job. The Lions only scored 16 points on Todd Bowles in the regular season. So I do think this Bucs team, as the defense gets healthy, we know this offense can score with anyone. So the key, I think, is, a healthy defense. And, as we look.
We held the Lions to 31 and the Eagles to 9.
Yeah. So, again, Todd Bowles.
Eagles,
and, I mean, we could go back to 2020, 2021. Todd Bowles' numbers against teams in the playoffs defensively. He's going to scheme it up. He's going to give you the defense a chance if they can execute. And then, I mean, offensively, we can't go this long without mentioning the run game, which was fantastic. It starts with, the people's champ, Bucky Irving, 20 carries, 113 yards, 5.7 yards per carry. Joel, you may know this already, but I'm going to ask you anyways. Bucky Irving has now reached 1,000 yards on the season. Who is the last Buck to have 1,000 yards in the season, and what year?
I mean, I'm just going to show my ignorance and age here. I'm going to go Doug Martin.
Okay, what year?
I'm going to go 2014.
You just missed the year, but
Was
the
it
player,
15?
it was 15. The player is right. But again, you're not showing your age. That is legitimately the last time the Bucs have had a 1,000-yard rusher was 10 years ago.
Wow.
I mean, that's crazy. And Bucky Irving has done it, and I think I saw a stat. He's average. I think he sees like touches 44% of the time, or he's on the field 44% of the time. He wasn't the running back one for the majority of this year. This is very impressive, and he's a rookie, and he's adding. I think he has close to 1,500 yards, total in scrimmage. This is really impressive. So his ability to contribute to the running game is a huge key for the Bucs. I mean, you look at him; he also had 77 yards receiving. That that's just ridiculous. Almost 200 total yards. He owns the Panthers. He had a huge game against them last time. And then even you look down, Sean Tucker, 39 yards rushing. Rachaad White, 30 yards rushing. They didn't rush Rachaad White a lot. I don't know if that was due to maybe an injury or if they were just fed up with his fumbling problem, which is something we're also fed up with. But yeah, 202 total yards, 5.1 yards per carry for the Bucs. That is, crazy. I mean, look, if I pull up this rushing attack, I mean, okay.
Bucky Irving is like taking over the community. Like that's the same thing Doug Martin did. So it's exciting to have like a plus running back, and then the running duo we have right now with White. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, and the Bucs are 4th in the NFL. They're averaging 147.3 yards per game. They averaged half of that 2 years ago under Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point.
It's crazy.
If you told me 2 years ago we would have this kind of running attack, I'd be like, no way.
Yeah,
like what changed? What happened?
It's Liam Cohen, it's Bucky Irving, and it's this offensive line. We got to give credit to this offensive line because these guys kind of got beat up in Dallas, man. That was probably the worst game I've seen from this offensive line. Busted protections. The run game was not great, and they responded, man. They responded. Baker Mayfield's only sacked twice. Again, 200 yards rushing. Great protection for Baker. These guys have been elite all season long. I mean, I can say all their names. Gedeke, Wirfs, Graham Barton had a great game on Sunday. Mauk, very underrated improvement from Cody Mauk this year. And then also Ben Bredesen, who was an unknown, has been really, really solid this year. All of these guys were phenomenal. You got to give credit to the big boys up front. I was listening to Bucky Irving's interview with 98 Rock at the end, and they were interviewing, they're like talking about, Bucky, and then they asked him a question about the offensive line, and Bucky Irving said, "Man, I wish those guys would get interviewed more often instead of me, man, because they really have been so good, and it's obvious. You love to see the running backs and the quarterbacks." Giving credit to the offensive line. One of my favorite things in the NFL is when the quarterback gives the presents to the offensive line for Christmas. Cool. I can't remember I don't know what Baker did, but like the quarterbacks give the offensive line some really, really nice presents. That's like a good, one of my favorite things in the NFL. But yeah, I think this was a really good, showing for the rushing attack. And then, man, let's talk about Mike Evans. Mike Evans, 8 catches, 97 yards. He is 85 yards away from 1,000 yards on the season. I can double check that, but I mean, Joel, what more can you say about Mike Evans? Do you think he's going to get this?
Did you say 85?
Yes.
I mean, there's no reason at this point to not be optimistic. Like the fact that he's done this in as little games as this is, like I gotta believe. Like it would be foolish of me not to.
85 yards. 85 yards from Mike Evans.
Didn't we kind of like padded the stats at the end of the game, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I noticed that. I was like, thanks, guys.
Baker Mayfield has come out and said that he's trying to get Mike 1,000 yards.
He's more concerned with it than Mike Evans.
Yes, he did say that. Yeah, no, that's a great quote. And that, I mean, dude, I think 85 yards is very doable. Mike Evans has been playing really great. I mean, getting open. I mean, you don't have Godwin on the other side, but Jalen McMillan's renaissance has really helped Mike Evans. Yeah, I think I want to say it's 4 straight games with Jalen McMillan for a touchdown with him. Really good stuff. But yeah, I think Mike Evans will get it. I think that the Bucs will make a concerted effort to get Mike the ball. Not only because they want to give him 1,000 yards, but that's when the offense works the best, is when Mike Evans is getting the ball.
Yeah, we're going to need it for sure. We got to beat the Saints. Must-win is must-win it is.
Yeah, I would like to get up early so then we could get to stat padding at the end of the game for the Saints.
Yeah, that would be really
That would be nice.
That's ideal because I'm thinking, I don't want Mike to feel any pressure. I don't think he handles the pressure, but sometimes, you wonder why he drops a ball. So let's make this a no-pressure event for all parties.
Baker Mayfield is also 1 touchdown away from 40 touchdowns on the season. My theory is Mike Evans will get 1,000 yards and Baker Mayfield will get his 40th touchdown on the same play. On the same play.
On the same pass. What?
Yeah.
That would be – I want to hear, the call from, Gene Deckerhoff on that one.
Dude, Gene Deckerhoff, he's due for a legendary call with Mike Evans if he gets it. Yeah.
He might retire on a call like that.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Hello, this is TV3 Sports Talk. How may I help you?
Hope that doesn't. We're
it's
not
going 7 times. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Hope they might not even hear it. We hear it, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. Mike Evans away from history. I want to look up that Jalen McMillan stat because I think that. Where's his game log? This is so funny that thing's going off. Like, seriously.
I thought it had been plugged in the whole time. I guess it wasn't.
Yeah, 4 consecutive games for Jalen McMillan with a touchdown. He has 6 touchdowns in his last 4 games after having 1 touchdown in his first 8 games. Crazy stuff from J-Mac. Yeah, he's really stepped up. It kind of has posed the question, like, you know, we kind of were saying, you know, preseason, like, you know, if Chris Godwin goes, we feel good enough about McMillan and Palmer. And Palmer has kind of disappeared, unfortunately, but McMillan has really stepped up.
He has been big.
So it's kind of like, what are we going to do with Chris Godwin? It'll be interesting to see his price tag.
That's an awkward situation, but yeah. I think just real quick, I think you let him go.
It really depends. I do think, you know, if they do that, then they might look to get a receiver in the draft again. But also, if Godwin's willing to work with you, man, that's a Tampa legend. He might not be getting the bag that he would be getting if he was coming off a healthy season. It'll be interesting to see. But that's just something to bring up because Jalen McMillan's been playing.
That'll definitely be the talk of the offseason.
For sure. That'll be your biggest
biggest fish.
For sure. But yeah, I think we should anything else on offense? Payne Durham, nice catch. Would love to see Cade Otton get back and healthy. But yeah, I mean, good offense. 48 points.
Yeah, I mean, no complaints.
No complaints.
All around, great game.
That's the third time.
And it gives you offense confidence going into the Saints game. Like, let's just hope we didn't use all the offense in this game.
Yeah, well, the last time the Bucs played the Saints, they scored 51.
Let's get 52.
That would be the Bucs have scored 40 plus 3 times this season. So that's pretty impressive.
That makes me hopeful.
40 points 3 times in the NFL season is pretty impressive. I think the Lions are number 1. They have 5 times.
I mean, people are starting to talk about this offense, which makes me so happy.
Yeah,
it's like we're finally not the Brady-less Bucs. I just blanked on our quarterback's name. We're that quarterback.
The Baker Mayfield.
The Baker Mayfield Bucs.
The Baker Bucs.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, and you guys got to give credit to these players. You know, got to give credit to Baker for revitalizing his career. Got to give credit to these electric young guns, Mike Evans, this offensive line, Liam Cohen. I mean, can't give enough credit to Liam Cohen. He has done a phenomenal job with this offense. I really, you know, Glazers, you got to up that boy's check so he stays your offensive coordinator, doesn't leave for a head coaching position, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, pay him a head coach's price
seriously
for offensive coordinator. If you don't fire Bulls, like, that's the only way we can do this.
Yeah, no, I completely
He's going to
agree.
be the highest paid offensive coordinator in football.
We'll take it. I think that's kind of what the Lions have already done, though, with their guy, and that's what's worked for him, the coaching staff.
We'll give him $1 more.
But yeah, offense has been great, and defense was really, really solid. Obviously, no Chuba Hubbard for the Carolina Panthers, rushing attack, but Bryce Young has sneakily been playing really good. I think that's well known around the NFL circles. Been playing really well. Obviously, Adam Thielen was your biggest problem. 5 catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But I think if we're looking at positives for the Bucs defense, first off, you only allow the Panthers to run for 39 yards total. 3 yards per carry. Obviously, second half, when you're down big, it's hard to run. But I think the reason why the Bucs were able to get those 2 or 3 stops in the middle of the game to extend their lead in the first half was they just, they were stopping the Carolina Panthers run on first down. And I think that, that is a huge key for the Bucs. And for the Bucs defense to succeed, the Bucs run defense can't be good. It has to be great. Because kind of the way the pass defense has been, for Todd Bowles' defense to work, you have to be great against the run. So I think that's kind of what stuck out to me. I don't know what stuck out to you from this Bucs defense.
I've been hearing Vita Vea's name a lot lately, and I think he's just coming up and stuffing that run. Like, the big boys getting the run.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty impressive. Vita Vea, as a run stuffer, defensive tackle, he has 6 sacks on the air. He is second on the Bucs, only behind Kalijah Kancey, who, man, this guy has been phenomenal. Kalijah Kancey, on the day, he had a couple tackles. He had a sack, a tackle for loss. Really, really good stuff. A quarterback hit as well. Really good stuff. They've been moving him around on the line more, getting him inside and outside on pass rush situations. That sack he had early on in the game was, I think, the first stop the Bucs got on defense, and that was a huge stop. Really, really big stuff from Kalijah Kancey. Love what he's doing, and he has 7.5 sacks now in the season, if I'm correct. 7.5. first on the Bucs. Very, very crazy. Also good to see Yaya Diaby get home and get a sack. He also had a tackle for loss and quarterback hit. The defensive line was really good this game. I really, really have no complaints. On the outside, I think the Bucs, which I think was a good scheme for them. They went a lot of man-to-man on the outside. And you saw there's a few times, those big passes to Thielen. There was a big pass to Coker, I think it was, early on in the game, where they got beaten man-to-man. But for the most part, guys like Tyke Smith, Zion McCollum, Jamel Dean, they did a really good job of man-to-man coverage, making everything tough. And sometimes you're going to get beaten man-to-man. But I like the scheme that Bulls had, a weaker wide receiving core for the Panthers. Just get up there, bump and run, and take away the run, and get some pressure on Bryce Young. I think it was a good scheme by Bulls, and I think it was a good performance by the secondary.
The Panthers were forced into a game plan, and we said, okay, then we'll take advantage of that as well.
Yeah, you even hear head coach Dave Canales kind of talking about at the halftime interview how he said how they were disguising their third down coverages and how that was kind of messing up their offense, and that was kind of the story of the first half offensively for the Panthers was their inability to can stay on the field on third down. I can look this up.
Because the second half they didn't score.
Yeah.
We held
Seriously,
them scoreless,
2 for 9 on third down for the Panthers. 0 for 1 on fourth.
Wow,
that's when you're gonna win ball games.
Yeah,
keep
that going.
Yeah, and 10 for 14 for the Bucs on the other side.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
Just crazy stuff. But again, when the Bucs have struggled, they have struggled mightily on third down defensively. So that's a huge key for them. I've really liked what I've seen from J.J. Russell. He's been kind of getting more snaps than K.J. Britt. Ever since K.J. Britt went down for a game, J.J. Russell kind of came in, and J.J. Russell has just been playing better than K.J. Britt. Much better coverage. Obviously, he gets the punt block touchdown, but he, played really, really solid. K.J. Britt's still getting some run, but J.J. Russell, I like what I've been seeing from him. Yeah, I mean, he had a pass breakup in this game too. Very, very good. Zion McCollum was your leading tackler. You got to love when your leading tackler has 6 tackles. That's how you were, stuffing stuff and forcing incomplete passes. That was really, really good defensive performance. That's the kind of defense we need. Bryce Young almost just barely completed over half his passes he threw. So, yeah. Good defensive performance. I don't really have much. I just thought it was a strong performance from
And Bryce
Bucs.
Young's a rookie, right?
Second year.
Second year. That's nice to see. Just making the young guy uncomfortable.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to do it because you obviously the quarterback play not this week. You're gonna play a rookie this week, and we know how we play against rookie quarterbacks. But you're gonna have to make good quarterbacks uncomfortable with the blitz if you want to win playoff games. I think you can take some solace in the fact that. You can score. You feel like you can score at least 24, 25 plus points consistently on even a bad day, and you feel very likely like you could score 30 points every game if you're firing on all cylinders if you're the Bucs offense. So you just got to make quarterbacks uncomfortable, get some stops early in the game, and the Bucs defense can help prop up this Bucs offense into some playoff wins. That's kind of your formula.
I mean, it sounds good. Like, I love a good shootout.
Yeah, no, seriously. And it's just like, again, if you can put pressure on the opposing team's offense by getting a lead early, by getting early stops, that's going to be so huge for this Bucs offense, this Bucs team in the playoffs. And I think before we'll preview the Saints game real quick, right, and then we can go into maybe some playoff situations, some scenarios, what needs to happen.
We can't count our eggs before they hatch.
We cannot.
We got to talk about the Saints game. Otherwise, we're gonna ruin the Bucs. It'd be like, yeah, that was TV3's fault. They went straight to the playoffs.
But yeah, so the Bucs this weekend will have a 1 p.m. game at home, Raymond James Stadium, with the opportunity to win and get in the playoffs as NFC South champions. Every day I look, this game becomes more and more enticing for a guy like me to go to. Tickets seem a little cheap, so maybe we'll have some correspondence over there.
Maybe the Bucs fans have already written this game off. They're like, yeah, I'm waiting to buy a playoff ticket.
Maybe.
It's like, not so fast, guys.
Yeah, and last year we went to, when it was in Carolina, we saw the Bucs clinch the NFC South.
Oh yeah, that game was wasn't that a nail biter?
It was a little bit of a nail biter. I don't think they scored. I think it was like 9-0 that game. Like it was
too close for comfort.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to maybe if I go, I'll see the Bucs clinch the NFC South in person 2 years in a row. That'd be fun. Something at me when I was 14 and 15 I never thought I'd see.
Yeah, like the potential. This is 4 or 5 straight. This will be
4 years.
It's the record for the Bucs. So, like, Don't count your eggs before they hatch, but it'd be really nice. It'd be really
It
cool.
would be really, really nice. But yeah, so the Saints, obviously, this is a team that comes in limping. 5-11 record. You know, they started off 2-0, very noisy 2-0, smoking a couple mid-tier teams. A lot of people are like, are the Saints back? Are this team back? And then they finished the year. They're 5-11, potentially going to go 5-12.
I mean, they want to play spoilers so bad.
Absolutely.
So.
But the problem is the Saints team is very banged up. Right now, Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara are both questionable. Chris Olave is also questionable. He wants to come back is what I just read. But who knows what they're going to do. I don't see the Saints risking their player for injury just to play spoiler. But who knows? Obviously, the
Is
Saints.
their coach on the hot seat?
Their coach is fired already.
Okay, so that's not an issue then.
Yeah,
so
the interim head coach, Darren Rizzi. Oh, my gosh, what's his name? What's their old coach's name? Oh, this is making me so mad. Dennis Allen. He was fired mid-season, I think after they lost to the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken, because that was whole Bryce Young. They were calling him the Carolina Reaper because everyone was either like losing their coach or losing their playoff spot to the Panthers when they beat them, which was pretty cool. But yeah, 5-11, have struggled offensively and defensively. I mean, the Saints are 30th in NFL on defense, allowing 379 yards per game. I mean, all these stats are pretty mediocre. Will likely have rookie Spencer Rattler on the field, but we did see, in New Orleans, the Bucs did struggle, especially in the second quarter. The Bucs were actually trailing at halftime to the Saints. I think it was 27-24, and then they would end up, putting their foot on the gas and winning that game 51-27. But, if the Bucs make mistakes, they can lose. This Buccaneers team, one thing about them is they can win any game you play, but they can also lose any game you play.
Definition of bipolar.
Seriously, because, because of how gunslinging Baker is and the mistakes that we've seen this team make, again, you don't want to count your eggs before. And, I think a key to this game would be, number one, again, no turnover game. Let's stay turnover-free for the second consecutive week. When the Bucs aren't turning the ball over, they're winning the game, and they're winning the game pretty big. I think it's a good standard, good habit. There we go. Yeah. Good habit to get in before the playoffs as well. So, yeah, no turnovers in this game. Offensively, I think, again, keep the balance. I think there's been a couple games where we've gotten away from the run game a little bit too early. Let's keep the balance. Let's run the ball. Let's pass the ball. Let's play complementary football on offense. And then defensively, Rattler, he's a mobile quarterback unless we get Derek Carr, which I just don't see that happening, but who knows. But Rattler's he's a mobile quarterback, so don't get beat by him outside of the pocket. Shut down the run game. It's pretty simple. This is a game the Bucs should win. They should be able to win convincingly. Just come out with your hair on fire. What? Any other keys you got, Joel?
I'll just reiterate what you said. You can't beat yourself. Like, the only way you lose this game is if you beat yourself.
Yeah, I completely agree. And yeah, so I guess we could predict it real quick. I'll go first. I think the Bucs win this game. I think the Bucs, they're going to get over 30 points. I want my prediction to be right. I'm going to say they win this game 38-17. 38-17 Bucs.
I was thinking about going 38, so I'll go higher.
Woo!
I'm gonna raise the bet. I'm gonna go.
Hey.
I'm gonna go 45. I'll add a touchdown. I'm gonna go 45-20. Bit higher scoring game. 45 or what did I say? Yeah, 45-20.
45-20. I love it. Big wins for the Bucs. And if they win this game, the Bucs would clinch the NFC South, and they would clinch their 5th consecutive playoff berth and their 4th consecutive NFC South championship. And as we get into that, we obviously got to think playoffs. So as we go through this, I'm just going to kind of summarize what you guys need to know for playoff seedings, for matchups, what to watch in Week 18, all that good stuff. So the Bucs right now, they sit in the number 4 seed in the NFC. The number 1 seed right now is the Lions. The number 2 seed is the Eagles. The number 3 seed is the Rams. The number 4 seed is the Bucs. The number 5 seed is the Vikings. The number 6 seed is the Packers. And the number 7 seed is the Commanders. All right? So, a Bucs win and a Rams win would lock the Bucs in to the 4 seed. Make sense? A Bucs win and a Rams loss locks the Bucs in to the 3rd seed. An important note about the Rams is the Rams don't quite care about their seeding because they're going to be resting their starters in this game against Seattle this weekend. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play for them instead of Matthew Stafford. So there's definitely a chance, maybe even a high possibility, that the Rams will lose, and if the Bucs win, obviously they will become the 3rd seed. So if the Bucs were to clinch that 3 seed, remember, Bucs win, Rams loss. Their potential opponents would be either the Green Bay Packers, who would be the 6th seed with a win on Sunday, or the Washington Commanders, who would be the 6th seed with a win and a Packers loss on Sunday. That is if the Bucs are the 3 seed. However, if the Rams win and the Bucs win, the Bucs will be the 4th seed, which would lock them into playing the 5th seed. The 5th seed is interesting because the 5th seed will be a team that has had a 14-win regular season. I think it's the first time ever that a 14-win team will not be a division winner in NFL history. It will either be the it will either be the Vikings or the Lions. So the Vikings and Lions played this weekend, Sunday Night Football.
That game's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. I'm excited to watch that game. It's in Detroit. Winner of that game is the 1 seed. Loser is the 5 seed.
What a crazy, like you're saying, what a crazy drop.
Yeah, seriously, and to have a 14-3 team is going to be playing a road wild card game.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It really is crazy.
I mean, you're playing for home through the playoffs or road through the playoffs, essentially.
Yeah, seriously. And you're playing for that bye in the first round.
Bye in the first, man, there's so much at stake.
Yeah, the Lions really need that bye to get healthy. That'll be huge for them. The Vikings, obviously, they want the home field and stuff like that. Both teams have electric home field atmospheres as well. So, again, the Bucs, there's 4 teams they could play in the first round. They could play the Vikings, the Lions, the Commanders, or the Packers. So, Joel, I'll ask you this question. What would be your dream first-round matchup?
Would Packers be at home?
Yes, any game in the first round will be at home.
I'll take Packers.
Packers? I think it's a good one. Any reasoning why?
I think their quarterback could choke a little bit, Love, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Love could, have some a young quarterback kind of issues in that. Packers are 7th seed right now, so they're not the best. And wait, can I say the one I don't want?
Are the Packers 7 right now?
It says they're 7.
Wow.
That might have changed.
No, that could be. Man, I might have misspoken. So Washington's 6. So if Washington wins, I think Washington.
Let me see when this was updated. This was updated on yesterday.
No, that's definitely right.
Yeah.
That's definitely right. So I guess it's likely Washington.
So we might be playing Washington?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I'm about to say. I don't want to play Washington.
I would feel pretty confident against Washington or Green Bay.
The reason I don't want to play Washington is because it could play out in the year we lost to Dallas 2 years ago, where we started with Washington and we could lose to Washington. I don't want that storyline at all.
That is funny.
Hopefully it would be a redemptive storyline where we beat them week 1 and we beat them week 1 of the playoffs.
The only thing about playing Washington is, man, I'd feel bad. After rooting for them so hard.
Oh, you traitor.
It's like I'm rooting for my kid to fail now because I got to root against them in the playoffs. But I guess it's likely. I think if the Bucs get that 3 seed, I would feel very confident, in a win against the Packers or the Commanders. I think obviously young quarterbacks like Joel mentioned. And I just think the Bucs, have a more efficient offense. I think the Commanders, while they did get that big win, I saw a lot of holes in their team just in general against the Falcons. And I know as a Bucs fan, I can't be saying that it's bad to lose to the Falcons. I get that the Bucs lost to the Falcons, two times. But I also kind of will say that I do feel like there was some anomalies that went on in those games, some injury bugs. One of those games, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, bunch of people out, stuff like that. So for me, I do think that the Falcons are, again, sounds weird. You can come at me at the comments, but I do think the Bucs are a much better team than the Falcons. I really do. I think those were just crazy games that happened. I know you play the games on paper. I know this sounds kind of like a sore loser, but that's just my opinion. And I think the way the Commanders struggled against the Falcons, especially, the Falcons' run game, especially in the first half, they ran the ball all over the Commanders, and I think that the Bucs have a better offensive line than the Falcons. And obviously, Michael Penix was in his second start as a starter. Baker Mayfield's not going to make the mistakes and the missed throws that Michael Penix made at the end of that game. So for me, I would feel pretty confident against the Commanders. Obviously, the one scary thing about that is quarterback run. Jaden Daniels ran all over the Falcons, and I would be scared. With our defense, we do seem prone to struggle against mobile quarterbacks. So I do think that is a worry. Again, with the Packers, I think their passing game has really struggled this year. Their wide receivers, in my opinion, are pretty weak, which kind of plays in our favor, where we're able to play that man-to-man coverage, like we did against Carolina. And then that's where Todd Bowles is kind of able to mix up the blitzes because he's playing man-to-man outside and feeling confident with that. So I feel really good about that matchup. I think Packers, I agree, would be my favorite first-round matchup. But I have a little theory right now, and it might be a little crazy. But, as Bucs fan, obviously you want to get a playoff win. It's huge in the NFL to get one playoff win. We felt we reaped the benefits of winning a playoff game last year. It kind of propelled us into improving this year, improving by a game.
And you don't want that 18-year streak we had going.
Exactly. So I get the benefit of winning a playoff game. However, I want to win the bowl, man. I want to win the bowl, and I think this team, if they get hot, if they play well, they don't, kill themselves with mistakes, I think they're capable of it. And that's why my little theory, and this is something Will has said off air, he's not able to be here today, holiday, stuff like that, but I think he would agree with me, is I kind of might want the Falcons round one. The Lions round one is what I meant to say. I kind of might want the Lions round one because, again, the Lions are banged up right now. That extra week of rest is going to be huge for them. But if they lose this game against Minnesota and they're playing on the road at Tampa Bay, a home game, the Bucs have played them on the road the last 2 times they played the Lions. The Lions don't have the same amount of time to get, healthy. The Bucs are at home. The Lions are coming off a big emotional loss.
Yeah.
That might be the best time to get the Lions. It really might be because it might be harder, to beat them in the divisional round or in the conference championship, later on down the line. So it might be the best time to get the Lions early. Might have the most risk of losing that first round game, but it might lead to the best path to the Super Bowl.
If in the event we play the Lions, that's definitely the take that Tampa Bay should be taking, like that idea.
Yeah.
Because they'll be licking their wounds for sure.
For sure. But I do also think if we get that 3 seed and we're playing Philadelphia second round, I feel very good about that game.
Whatever you want to take Detroit out early.
You do.
Like get them, for my sake too, because I don't want Detroit to ever win the Super Bowl. Get them out.
I mean, there's a very high chance that, Minnesota and Detroit, they're both on the Super Bowl, droughts. The Bucs might stand in the way of those droughts.
Oh, man.
And that'll be your Super Bowl.
2 victories.
That would be awesome.
I don't care as much about Minnesota. Like, Minnesota should get one at some point. Like
Detroit?
Detroit never going. Let's keep that one up. That's a good streak.
That is such a crazy streak,
I love that streak.
That is wild. But yeah, so that's kind of, go through your playoffs. So again, watch the Rams versus Seahawks on Sunday. Watch Detroit versus Minnesota Sunday Night Football. Obviously, Bucs need to win. Watch that game. Most importantly, 1 p.m. It's on Fox at home. If you can get out there, go to the game, give the boys some energy to finish off this regular season strong. Get a 1-game improvement from last year. Double-digit wins for the first time I think since 2021. Yeah, let's do that, baby. Let's do that.
All right.
But yeah, I think we should move to the other Tampa Bay team. Quickly, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have been playing just such an odd schedule. Just create different breaks, week-long breaks, Christmas breaks, back-to-back games. Very odd. But yeah, we're going to go into just a couple games. They played this last weekend, a Saturday-Sunday doubleheader at home, where they split it. First game, the Lightning were at home, and they came out on fire, and they would beat the New York Rangers 6-2. But the next day, on the second night of back-to-back, they would fall to the Canadiens 5-2. Joel, I mean, what do we see from these couple of games?
It's hard to win a back-to-back.
It is. It for sure is. I think let's talk about this Rangers game. Let's talk about the good because there was a lot of good in this game. Let's start off with first, Andre Vasilevsky, 42 saves in this game. 42 saves on 44 shot attempts. I think if we look at shots on goal, 44 for the Rangers, only 25 for the Lightning. So you got to give the goaltender credit on this one.
That's like a classic Lightning win from the last couple years. It's like I'm gonna half smile, like fake smile.
Well, one of the biggest reasons why they were able to pull out this game with that little amount of shot attempts is the Lightning would have 2 shorthanded goals in this game. One from Ryan McDonough, his first of the year. Crazy. And then one from Anthony Cirelli. That one makes a lot more sense. What a great penalty killer Cirelli is. But yeah, 2 shorthanded goals in this game.
Technically speaking, the last time we talked about the Lightning on the show, I said Ryan McDonough was going to score a goal, so I'm going to wear that badge of honor.
Oh, dude, but the Rangers got a shorthanded goal too. 3 shorthanded goals in one game.
Okay, so the power play wasn't working for either team in this game.
No, it was not. Did we get any power play goals? I mean, wow. Yeah. Yeah, the Lightning got 2 power play goals. What a weird game.
Yeah, it's like there was action on every power play.
Yeah.
For both teams.
The Lightning were 2 for 5, but allowed a shorthanded goal, and the Rangers were 0 for 4, allowing 2 shorthanded goals.
2 short. That's crazy.
That's like, what a weird game. What a weird game. I got to give.
So wait, let me get this straight, because I'm now confusing myself. We gave up the 2 shorthanded goals, or we scored them?
We scored 2, gave up 1.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. That's four goals with the short man on the ice, 1 man short on the ice.
That is just.
That's why you play the game.
I'm not even getting that, man. It's wild. Young players continue to play well. Gage Goncalves, I'm seeing a +1 for that guy. Good job. A couple shots. Loving to see that. Obviously, a goal and an assist for Cirelli. Kucherov gets a goal and 2 assists. Just good, really good game. Kind of geeky. I've loved what I've seen from him. Didn't have a great game in this one, but the youth has been really fun to watch. Michelle Chavy's been good. I think Nick Paul was talking about how it was to play on that line with Geeky. And I think Goncalves is the line he plays with. I could be wrong on that, but he was just kind of raving about those young guys around. And I think the young guys are the key for the Lightning. Going forward, as to just keep that energy up for the Lightning. As you look at the Lightning, man, they've been on a really good streak, man. So you finished the year. Let's see what they starting off with the Sharks game in December. 11 games in December. They are 4, 5, 6, 7 and 2 into 9 and 3. 9 and 3 in December.
That's great.
Very, very impressive, finish to the season. So,
and we still have so many games in hand right now.
Wait, it might be 8 and 3. It's 11. I think it's 8 and 3 in December. But still, that is true. That's another good thing. The Lightning are actually making some noise to win their own division.
Yeah, it's one of those like glass half full, half empty things, because like you might get banged up and you got a lot of games to play, or you just like continue to munch on the schedule and you catch up with everybody.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think that the Lightning have a lot of potential, and I really have liked the way they're playing. I think, obviously the power play has had its problems, but it's been a lot better recently. Been switching up the philosophy, the way they use point, and Gensel on the power play has been really good. And then I think Gensel didn't play in the Canadiens game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and that was why it was an ugly game, because we were missing one of our leaders.
Yeah. And that can be a Canadiens game. I got some beef with the NHL schedule makers. You give them the guys a week off. They don't play from Monday to Saturday, and then you give them a back-to-back.
I hate this new schedule setup.
It's very odd. It's very odd. I'm not a huge fan of it. But, I mean, you look at the Canadiens.
Like, I'll be honest. I have a hard time watching hockey just because the irregularity, that's a word.
True. You can't. No, it is a word.
And now it's even worse. It's like we're off till Thursday.
Yeah. No.
It's like, what Like, there used to be a thing, like one of the Lightning ads, it was like, if you're a true fan, you just, like, your instincts know when the next game is. And I could say I was that way for a long time, but now I don't know. It's like, oh, we have a 4-day break, sorry.
Well, they've been playing a lot of, like, Sunday games, which I feel like has not been the case always.
Yeah.
And
that's
because
true.
it used to be, like, pretty much...
Yeah, I think we played the last 3 Sundays.
Yeah, it used to be a lot of...
Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays.
Or Tuesdays sometimes.
Yeah. Tuesdays.
Yeah, Thursdays was like synonymous with a Lightning game.
Thursdays hockey.
Yeah. So. No, it's definitely odd. I'm right there with you. It's hard to kind of get in a groove with the schedule they are. So hopefully in the new year it's a little bit more regular.
Yeah, New Year's really when hockey season like picks up. Like all the people always say that. It's like I usually don't say that, but this year I'm gonna have to say it's like now it's hockey season.
Yeah, for sure. And it's good. Again, it's been good to watch because of the new core, and it's hoping to see them continue to gel together. Just to recap some of this, Canadiens game, the Canadiens outshot the Lightning 37-23. So a little concerning that they get outshot that much, back-to-back nights. No power play goals for either team. Both were over on the power play. But yeah, I mean, just
It's nice to know we can still win a game like that. Like that was something we were doing back a couple of years ago. So it's good to know if we're outshot by that big of a margin that we're still able to win.
Yeah, and it is the difference of you get outshot with Andre Vasilevsky in net as opposed to you get outshot with Jonas Johansson in net. Yeah. It kind of goes your way with Vazzy, which is good to see that Vazzy still has that kind of in him. Yep. He's been really solid, I'd say, this year. So
it's nice to have him back.
Yeah, it really is. He's been very solid, especially the last month or so. So that's kind of he's a huge key for our team. We need him to be at that elite level for us to go far. And I mean, as we look at the Lightning before we kind of predict, I mean, if there's anything to take from 2024 beginning of Lightning hockey season, what would it be?
I think I'll just go broad on this. We're still a contender. We're still a hockey team without Stamkos.
Yeah, I think so too. And I honestly, I've been this has been a positive start to the season for me. I think this has gone better than I expected. There was, last year, for the majority of the year, the Lightning were hovering around 500.
Oh, yeah,
they really were.
It was a prayer to make it to the playoffs.
It really was. And, this year, I mean, I think they're 6-7 games over 500. Not very many, overtime losses.
We're 8 games over 500.
Yeah. So, I mean, very, very good stuff. And I've been really, impressed with the youth. I think that, my overall thing would be I would say looking back at this offseason right now, it was a win, not a loss. You taken the effect. The Gensel move has been a shining success for the Lightning. You look at the Sergachev trade. I think he's doing pretty well with Utah, but to get Moser and Geekie has been just huge for this team. I think Atkinson's been really solid. Some of these young guys that are coming up through the pipeline have been really good. McDonough, I think, has shored up the defense very, very well. It's been made it, better pairings on that back end. Yeah. So I think this, to sum up 2024, is the right moves were made, even if it wasn't the right emotional moves for the Lightning thus far.
Yeah, I mean, that's how sports has to go. And now remember, we have a lot of cap space for this trade deadline.
Yeah, no, that is going to be a very, very interesting what to see. What will they try to do? I think they would probably try to bolster maybe that third line, but maybe you try to go and get a young elite defenseman to pair up top. That might be your move to try to kind of bolster your defense and maybe bring in a defenseman that can score from back there, because I feel like the defenseman goals have been very few.
I think if you can get best of both worlds with some scoring and defense, that'd be nice.
And Johansson has been better, but I still do think you might look into a backup goalie as well at the deadline.
I mean, if those were the two moves we made, I'd walk away pretty happy.
A defenseman and a backup goalie?
Yeah.
I think so too. I think a defenseman that can hop in the play and score would be very beneficial for the Lightning.
I don't know about the goalie, though. That might kind of shake up the team a little bit too much.
Maybe. Johansson's been better. You asked me a month ago, I've been like, we got to get a backup goalie at the deadline. He's been much better, though, recently. Yeah. Much better. But yeah, we look ahead. Like Joel said, the Lightning don't play till Thursday. New year, 2025 Lightning starts on Thursday, January 2nd, and it starts on the West Coast. Oh, man.
Another weekend back-to-back or two.
Wow, crazy one. A 4-day, is that math right? A 4-day West Coast trip with 3 games.
3 games in 4 days, yeah.
Holy moly. Maybe that's like a good thing to do in the West Coast.
They do that on the West Coast a lot. Just get it over with. If you finish above 500, count your blessings.
Yeah. Lightning, 10:30 against the Sharks, a team that's been pretty weak this year. Hoping to start the West Coast trip before the back-to-back off with a win. 10:30. It's on FanDuel Sports Network. I got to stop saying Bally because it doesn't exist anymore. Then the Lightning play in Los Angeles against the Kings. Team that's having a pretty good season, 47 points there, 21-10-5. Really good season for the Kings. 9 p.m. on Saturday, and then again, like Joel said, a back-to-back, and they will play the Anaheim Ducks the next day at 8 p.m.
Darn it, they're trying to make me not watch the Lions and Vikings.
Split screen, baby. It's 2025.
I guess we're going split screen.
Split screen. So yeah, 3 games to predict. Joel, I'll leave it to you. What are your predictions, and who do you think is going to score a goal?
West Coast trips are tough, so I'm going to go 1-2, and scoring a goal. Let's go Connor Geekie.
I like that. What game are we winning, Joel?
Let's go Kings. I think we're going to win the Kings game.
Interesting, because I think we're going to win the other 2 and lose the Kings game.
I'm basing it because the Sharks were going to be tired.
Yeah.
And then we're going to
We're not winning both the back-to-backs.
We're going to lose to Anaheim because it's back-to-back.
Yeah, we're not going to lose. So, yeah, I think we beat the Sharks. I think we have their number. Lose to the Kings. They're a good team. Might be a real fun hockey game Saturday night if you can tune in late night with the Bolts. And then I think they come back with their loss after the Kings to beat the Ducks because that's another weaker hockey team. So 2-1, and I think that Nick Paul is going to score a goal. Nick Paul. Yeah, tune into the Lightning. Late night with the Bolts. If you got the time, tune in. Bring in the 2025 with your Tampa Bay Lightning. And before we leave, I know this isn't TV3U, but we're going to talk about it because the USF Bulls on Christmas Eve delivered the best Christmas present a guy like us, a guy like me, and a guy like Joel could ever even ask for. A 41-39 quintuple overtime victory. I mean, what a game.
Yeah, as Santa's pulling up on your roof at midnight, if Bulls are winning, that's what's under my Christmas tree.
Yeah, there was a point where USF was almost could win as midnight was coming in on Christmas Day, and it would have been awesome. It ended up being, I think it was 12-20, 12-25, but what a crazy game, man. What a crazy game. I mean, USF comes out, 21-10 lead at halftime. Tayron Keith gets a kickoff return for a touchdown. That was awesome. One of my favorite plays, maybe the favorite play for me of the 2024-2025 season for the Bulls. And yeah, it was really, really awesome, 21-10. But then the offense kind of stalls in the second half.
It makes for a good story.
Yeah, stalls in the second half, goes down 27-24. Doesn't look great. A slew of punts in the fourth quarter, and then as time is expiring, pretty much John Cannon banks in a field goal off the field goal post to tie it up, and then overtime is just crazy. USF gets it first. Golesh was cooking with those plays in overtime. I loved the play calls Golesh had. I really wish he would call the plays like that the whole game. And I do think as we go into next year, offensive scheme could be something that can improve for USF. But plays really well designed in overtime. Huge plays both sides, and then you finally get on the fifth overtime when you're in the 2-point conversion, shootout thing. USF wins it. That was really just a fun football game.
And that's what you want. You're entertaining the prospects that are watching the game. It's like that. That's why you stay in the Bay. Not
only do you entertain the prospects watching the game, this was the only sporting event on Christmas Eve. The whole day. There was nothing. I actually saw, I think USF was the third trending thing on Twitter, or the Hawaii Bowl or something like that. So you had a lot of eyes on you. You had the only spot, people settling down with their families, got to put something on TV. Holy moly, we're watching the best football game we've ever watched. That was, some eyes were on USF, and I definitely think, some public respect got on USF. Maybe a few players are going to use, a few people are going to use USF and NCAA 25 because they watched that game,
True.
If you will. As for the game, I think some key performers. Rushing game, again, when USF's offense isn't working, it's because that rushing attack is not really working. Only 56 yards rushing, 1.6 yards per carry. Bryce Archie, 235 yards. Weird situation with Byron Brown. So basically, USF, if you guys are new to being USF fans, they don't get the same type of public pressure from the media as other teams do. So basically, Alex Golesh has been able to kind of keep Byron Brown's injury a secret and kind of be like, oh, he's working back towards a return, just so people have it in the back of their mind, opposing teams' game plans. Byron Brown broke his leg against Tulane, is what we found out at the end of the season. And some people were kind of asking, Byron Brown came in for a play when Archie got hurt. He was practicing, but he was obviously not full strength because, again, he broke his leg.
Dang, to do a snap on a broken leg.
He did a couple. He came in, and it was almost probably fully healed, but it was just they didn't want to risk the re-injury. But again, it was just a weird situation. It was why is Archie still playing? But it is what it is. I think Archie has shown that he's definitely a backup quarterback level in Division I football. That's just my take, especially in a higher conference, group of 5. Hoping to see Byron Brown kind of turn around this offense next year. I think that's going to, as we get into the offseason and what we're talking about in portal, stuff like that, as we get to the summer when we're previewing, USF's 2025 season, offense has to be better. Offense was, probably the thing that dragged the team down this year. You look at 2023, the offense, carried the team, the defense let it down, and then this year it kind of flipped, and you end up with the same record, but you feel like you've taken a step back offensively. So you want to take that step forward, and if you look at USF and you look at, can we somehow get 2023 offensive level and 2024 defensive level, that's a pretty darn good football team, and that's what we're looking for as we head into 2025.
And with such recency, it's like maybe they could pull it off.
They can. I really do think they can. I think in the portal, again, we'll talk about this, as the portal clears up and is more transparent, but they focus offensive line. I think offensive line is such a huge key for USF. They got to be able to run the ball. So that's a good thing. Byron Brown should hopefully be back. He has not transferred, so unless he transfers in the spring, he will be back. Obviously, that's an upgrade from Bryce Archie. Byron Brown he's a starter for a reason. So, yeah, that'll be an upgrade. Obviously, you're going to lose some skill players. You're going to lose Naquan Wright, Kelly Joyner, Sean Atkins. But, we got Kayshawn Singleton, has looked really good as a freshman. You got some recruits coming in. The young players have looked really good. So I'm excited for USF next year. I really am. I do think that, as we get into the offseason, I think that it might be more fair to give them the expectations next year that we were kind of giving them before this year, especially. And not exactly all us. I think we kind of expected maybe a little bit better of season. I think you said 8-4, and me and Will said 9-3. So some people were expecting 10-2, 11-1.
We were talking about that playoff berth.
We were. So I think next year might be a fair year, depending on how the portal shakes out. Really hoping so. I think offensive scheme is a huge key, stuff like that. I think Golish could do a better job calling plays. Offensive line is a huge key, and then defense has to keep it up. You got to be able to keep up the coverage with the corners. The corners were phenomenal this year, in my opinion. Got asked a lot. I think as you look at USF's defensive scheme, it's very similar to the Bucs, where there's a lot of blitzing, there's a lot of aggressive play, and it puts a lot of stress on the corners, and I thought they did a really good job. Defensive line got to improve, stuff like that, but they were good. I just think as we go into, we just want to see this game be a springboard. Important thing to note as well, USF finally broke their streak on the bowl game of they hadn't beat an FBS team with a winning record since 2019, and San Jose State has a winning record. So that was their first win in 5 years over a team that finished the year with a winning record in the FBS.
That's crazy that they kept facing like 6-6 teams in bowl games.
Yeah, and
kind of like that's not so much their fault, really. It's like they just kept getting the 6-6 teams.
Yeah, but they kept losing to those better teams they play on their schedule.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so hoping this exciting game is a springboard into next year, and that's pretty much it. Gators took care of business in the Gasparilla Bowl. Not much to say. Pretty boring game. Nothing much to say.
But the graphic for the end zones were really cool.
Very cool. Also, did you see the defensive lineman carry the ball as a running back?
No, because I was too focused on the end zones.
Dude, the Gators have like a 400-pound like Vita Vea defensive lineman. They put him in, and he got a handoff and got a first down.
I don't remember if I saw it or not.
It was awesome. It was big Desmond Watson. Shout out. Before we leave, just real quick, college football playoffs, second round. Starts tonight because we're recording on New Year's Eve. One of the games will already be done, but we're not cheating. We promise. Tonight, Penn State, Boise State Fiesta Bowl. Who you got?
I mean, it would feel wrong to pick Boise State, so I got to pick Penn State.
I think Penn State's going to win, but I think it's going to be a really good game. Close game. I think people are overlooking Boise just a bit.
I think it's just because of the conference, the differences in the conference.
For sure. No, for sure. And then Peach Bowl, Texas, Arizona State, 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Texas.
I think Texas wins too. I think this one's closer too. I think a lot of people are disrespecting Arizona State. They were playing some great football at the end of the year, but Texas is really good, really, really good. This is the banger of the weekend. Ohio State, Oregon, Rose Bowl, 5 p.m. Man.
I would go Oregon.
I think I'm going Oregon too. You know why? Because they got Ohio State favored in this game.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm saying Dan Lanning, that is bulletin board material for that guy. I think Oregon's just going to be able to make the explosive plays. I think Ohio State's going to make the mistake, and Oregon's going to win. But it's going to be a great game.
Because the Ohio State coach's seat is hot. So I think
there's a lot of pressure.
He might get a little too stressed.
A lot of pressure. And then the nightcap, another great one. Notre Dame, Georgia. I almost said Stetson Bennett. No, Carson Beck will not be playing. It'll be their backup quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, who looked good in the SEC championship. But Notre Dame's looked really good.
Yeah, I was looking for the upset in these picks. I'll pick Notre Dame as the upset.
I'm taking Notre Dame too, man. I think we've agreed on every one, which means we obviously are right if we're agreeing on it. But yeah, I really like Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's getting discredited because of their past, which is fair. They've lost a lot of big games, but I think this team's different. I think they really are a really, really good football team. So yeah, check that out. Again, is that all? Is that all we got?
I think so.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being with us through 2024. We really appreciate it, and we hope that 2025 is better for us and for you guys, and it's blessed, and that you guys have a great 2025. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are on YouTube, subscribe and comment, down below. Are the Bucs, comment down below. Who do you want to play in the first round if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? What opponent would you like to play the most? Thank you guys for watching. Spotify, hit the 5 stars, hit the follow button. Follow us on Instagram and X. And thank you, and just have a beautiful and blessed night.